Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have part 2 of my Tarot and Oracle collection. So today I will be showing you mass market oracles. Some of these, might already be recognizable to you guys. So we're just going to go ahead and say that this is probably going to be my favorite video to shoot for you guys as far as my collection goes, because these are the decks that I actually work with the most. These decks, they're like literally feel like family to me, so I'm really excited to share these decks with you guys. So get comfortable, grab a snack, get something to drink, find a comfy spot, and let's get to it. And I have my little notes here off to the side. I've just written down the number of cards in each deck, because that would really be the only thing that I'm not sure about. Yeah, so that's it. All right, so the first deck is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Mosley. And I've had this deck for a while. I kept it on my shelf. I really wanted to use this deck for a special purpose, because the thing that really hit me about this deck, it reminded me so much of my grandmother. Just that vintage feel. Like, I remember like seeing on her dresser she would have brooches and lace and like fancy trinkets, and this deck just reminds me so much of her. So I've been really using this deck for ancestry work, and I've been pulling a card for each month, and it has literally hit the mark each month. So I absolutely adore this deck. Artwork is just beautiful. It just has such a romantic feeling to it. I love it. So you can see there, just very pretty muted tea stain colors. The borders are different, so we go from sage to like brown to like a mauve purplish kind of feel to it. So this is definitely in top 3 of my oracles. I just really love working with this one. All right, so that is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. The next one is the Goddess Oracle, and this one has Vintage Wisdom has 52 cards. This one also has 52 cards. This one I do not do pulls for. How I've done this, I've separated the goddesses by culture, by location, and then I work with them that way. So I have Indian goddesses separated into their own section, Celtic goddesses, Yoruba, Egyptian, Greek goddesses, and then whichever whatever I vibe with at the moment. I usually like to work with Celtic goddesses during the spring. So then I'll go through a peek through the cards and kind of work with the goddesses for that period of time. Right now I'm kind of, into an Egyptian phase. So right now I'm working with the Egyptian goddesses. So I really don't do random pulls with this deck. I feel like I can connect with the goddesses more, focusing on one cultural aspect at a time. So just an idea of how, I'm connecting with them. But beautiful artwork. And the guidebook, let's see, comes in beautiful box. Great guidebook. And what I do like is that the guidebook does have pronunciations of the goddesses' names, because all of them I am not, like right here. I want to make sure I pronounce them the right way. So I'm glad the guidebook gives you that. But yeah, great, beautiful goddess deck. If you like to work with goddess energy, highly recommend this deck. So that is the Goddess Oracle. Okay. And the next one is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So this is from the same creator as the Wild Unknown Tarot. Very popular deck. The Archetypes is the newest one. So this is a very much collage deck. And basically the deck deals with spiritual archetypes. So you'd have, it's separated down into people, places, tools, initiations. So the cards I have here on the top would be the initiation cards, and these kind of serve as your major arcana if it was tarot. So these are like the major obstacle journey cards right here. And then the rest of the deck is separated into different aspects of archetypes that you would be called to work with. So it is collage type art. So we have the kiss, that would be like a tool. The shaman would be a person. And I'll leave a picture on either side of the table of contents just so you can see a quick list of how the cards are categorized. So the village, the mask, and how I've been working with this one, I've been pulling one card for the beginning half of the year, another card for the second half of the year. I figure 6 months gives me enough time to really comprehend the message, because this one is also a pretty heavy hitter. And I don't just want to rush through a message, you know, just to pull another card. I really, really want to sit with it. And actually, that's what the creator recommends, to actually sit with the card for a while, like a good while. Take notes on it if you feel you need to. But yeah, I love the artwork in this deck. I love Kim Cran's. I love her style. Beautiful, beautiful. So as the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And this is the other Oracle deck. Don't mind my pet hair on my clothes. My doggy was rubbing all over me. This is the Animal Spirit deck from the same creator. Another very popular deck. So we have our animals working with our 4 elements, and then also the spirit element. I've also had great reads with this deck as well. I love working with animal energy, earthy energy. Like I said, I adore her art style. So very beautiful. I think the shark is my favorite card. All right, so that is the animal spirit. And keeping with animals, we're gonna move to Messages from Animal Spirit by Stephen Farmer. And so let's see, sorry guys, I'm forgetting about the number of cards again. So this one had 78 cards. Animal Spirit deck has 63. This one has 44 cards. And I love the feel of this deck. So it's kind of like a matte, and then it has like a ribbed kind of texture to it. Shuffles really well. Good stock, but it's also very flexible. I don't know, it's just, I love the way this one feels in my hands. But I don't really use the guidebook for this one, because really the quote here is really enough for me. And then I just kind of sit with the message. So this one's a favorite. I say this one's definitely a top 5. When I first came across this deck, it really called out to me, so I had to pick this one up. But for me, it creates an even more intimate feeling with animal spirits, animal spirit guides. So as I'm passing through, if you just want to pause, take a look at some of them, get a feel, an idea. And this is a deck I feel where the more specific the question you have, the more specific the answer that you'll get. So I like decks where you can do that. Okay. That is Messages of the Animal Spirit. So this is like kind of starting into my Hay House part of the video, Hay House section of the collection here. So the next one is the Angels of Abundance by Doreen Virtue. This one I usually pull out around the holidays, around Christmas time. I usually bring it out in November. Just beautiful, beautiful artwork. There's even like a Santa Claus somewhere in this deck. So I usually work with this around the holidays. This is another one where I really just, you know, the message at the bottom gives me enough to work with. So I don't really have to delve too much into the guidebook. But those of us that like to work with angel energy, highly, highly recommend this deck. Although, oof, yeah, I don't think this one's available so much anymore. So I think people are selling it kind of like as a collector's item. But this one is a favorite to work with for angel energy. So these are the backs, pretty backs, 44 cards. So that is the Angels of Abundance. The next Hay House deck are the Life Purpose cards. So these are also pretty specific. These are really good if you do readings for other people and if they have, you know, career related questions. This will be really, really good for that. You know, if you kind of know what track you're on, you can still get some guidance from it, but these are really good for career readings, obviously. So I haven't used this one in a while. But then again, of course, you have the message on the bottom, which, you know, gives you a good amount to work with. Okay, so that is a Life Purpose cards. Also 44 cards in that deck. Next Hay House deck is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. There are 52 cards in here. This was, I think it was like my second mass market deck that I had ever. Also one of my favorites as far as artwork. It's just extremely, extremely soft, beautiful, intuitive. This is another one I like to break out, usually around the summer. I don't know, summertime, this one usually calls to me. What I like about it though is that each card, no matter what situation that you're dealing with, it kind of has 4 different messages based on wherever you are, you know, in your life. So if you pull one card here, it'll give you how it relates to a relationship, how it relates in a spiritual sense, how it relates in a prosperity sense, how it relates in a protection, you know, circumstance. So I like that too. So one card, you know, could have different meanings for, you know, different people depending on where they're at. But beautiful, beautiful deck. I know this one's a favorite in the tarot community, and for good reason. It's just really, really stunning. And as you can see, I did trim mine. Just easier to handle, easier to work with. So love that one. So that is the Wisdom of the Oracle, 52 cards. Love that one. The next one is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. This one's 64 cards. This one's also by Colette Baron Reed. And there are 2 other creators, Albert Villaldo and Marcelo Lobos. The artwork is, you know, stunning, doesn't describe it, but this one's been out for a while and I haven't felt the need to pick it up until recently. So kind of like the tail end of last year. Just for me personally, kind of got called on to start looking for, I guess, resources that the earth naturally provides for us. I think, you know, a lot of people, you know, have been trying to get by on certain things for so long and starting to figure out, you know, maybe it's time to take a step back, look at what, you know, what really matters. what will really, you know, get us to the next step ahead. And that's really stuff that the earth can provide for us. And so that's what, you know, I guess really called me to finally pick this deck up. And I've only done one reading with it so far, and yeah, it's working for me. So like I said, beautiful card. It's matte, very lovely. I do like matte decks. I don't care if they're glossy or not, but I do like matte as well. But it's just a great deck to go back to that, you know, medicine wheel type feeling. It's a very, you know, grounding deck. So I love that energy. Right, so that is the Mystical Shaman. Let's love this one as well. And the next one, keeping in with the earth theme, this one was actually a Christmas present that I received. So I have not worked with this one yet. This is the Earth Warriors Oracle. This one has 44 cards. So, you know, also has that, you know, shaman energy to it. Very, very beautiful. I love the colors in here. I said they're all, you know, kind of like the same palette, but you do get a different feeling from each card. So I've flipped through the deck itself a couple of times, you know, and really get like that family tribe feeling. And some are portrait, some are landscape images. So I can't wait to start working with this one. I'll see when the time is right, when I feel the need to grab it. But yeah, this one is by Alana Fairchild. So that is the Earth Warriors Oracle, which brings me to my next Alana Fairchild deck. The White Light Oracle, also 44 cards. Now with this one, I have not used this one as much as I would like, because this feels like a very meditative deck to me. The deck's used for meditation, and to be honest, I do not like meditating. I just don't. I don't like sitting still. I like to be up and out and moving around. But at the same time, when I feel like I get so overburdened, when there are like 50 mental tabs open in my head, this is the deck that I go back to get centered. So that is what I love about this one. And the artwork itself is just beautiful. It's just very beautiful. There is also a Bast card in here, which I do have on my altar right now. But yeah, this one does have the different cards that have different level of hertz. So different levels to meditate with, whether you need to be on a grounding level, a clearing level, an ascension level. So if you just really need to take a step back, clear the air, get back to you, get centered, this is a wonderful deck to work with. So I will be pulling this one out a little bit more this year. All right, so that is the White Light Oracle. And the next Alana Fairchild deck is the Kuan Yin. So this is our Goddess of Compassion. I love the borders on this deck. I love the soft palette. This is like my self-care deck. Just beautiful artwork. This is one of my top favorites as far as artwork. I love the palette. It's just very, very beautiful. It's very, very calming. I just get like a calm feeling just holding the cards in my hand. So I have Kuan Yin. I was also working with this one when I was trying to really narrow down some deities that I wanted to work with. Kuan Yin was definitely one of the ones that called to me as well. So I also love this deck for that. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's also 44 cards, and so is the next one, also by Alana Fairchild. This is the Rumi Oracle. Another one with beautiful artwork, and a lot of Fairchild's guidebooks are very extensive. You get a lot of information for each card, a lot to work with, so I appreciate that as well. And how I've worked with this one, I pick a card and then I don't read the guidebook. I sit with it. I just sit with the image. What kind of feeling do I get from it? Maybe try to put myself in the image. And then a lot of times when I've done that, and then I go to read the guidebook about a week later, my meaning and the book's meaning have almost been along the same lines. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. It's just the first time I did a pull, something just said, don't open the guidebook yet. Just sit with the image, work with it, see what happens. And surprisingly enough, it was very, very closely related to what was written. So this one, you know, for that reason also holds a special place with me. And I love Rumi's messages. All right, so that is the Rumi Oracle. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. I adore that one. All right, so it's changing the pace up a little bit here. All right. Top 3, Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. 36 cards. Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. I use this deck year round. Even if, you know, some of the cards may have like an ominous meaning, I don't know. It still has a sense of joy to me just because I love Halloween so much. So I love this energy. This stays out on my table all year. Like I said, fun cards to work with. So that is the Halloween Oracle. All right, next. The next 2 are by the same creator, Lucy Cavendish. So this is the Oracle of Shadows and Light. This is 45 cards. And I featured this one in my Halloween decks. But also I do use this one year round. So I won't talk about these too much. But I did mention that, you know, a lot of her decks, they do have like that adolescent look to them. But they are not in any way adolescent in meaning. These are some hard hitters. They go very deep. So this one, the Shadows of Light deck, you're dealing with different entities. So you're dealing with fairies, witches, and then I'll have a message. As I said, I love the artwork. So that is the Oracle of Shadows and Light. Just if you're looking for, you know, balance, this is a good one for that. I haven't used it recently too much because I've been picking the same card from this deck. So I've just been working with that one card. You know, I figure why pick something else? Obviously there's a message there. And the next one also, I think this one's jumped to my top 3 as well. This is the Les Vampires, also by Lucy Cavendish. This one is really for breaking those obstacles. So we're dealing with vampire energy, so it's literally what is sucking the energy out of you. What in your life needs to be addressed? And this one gives you a blessing message and a curse message. But also, you know, doesn't hold anything back. It tells you like it is. And I appreciate it for that. So I also want to get her the Alice in Wonderland deck. I have not picked that one up yet, but I do want that one too in my collection. But I love the Vampires deck. This is another one where, you know, I really had to sit with it before I started working with it because the energy was so heavy with this deck. It was very, very heavy. And then once I got connected to it, it gets me, it knows me. So this one has become an instant favorite for me in my collection. So I love this one. Another one that I did do a review of this one on my channel. This one's fairly new. It came out this past year. It is the Seasons of the Witch. This is by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. So let's see, this is, checking my notes, 44 cards. All right, so very, very beautiful. So you get the name of the card and then kind of like a little poem excerpt on the bottom, and then a more extensive meaning in the guidebook, which I will show you the guidebook for this one. But this one definitely use around Samhain, Halloween. Like I said, I'm also getting the feeling to use this one year round as well. I just like dark themed decks. That's just me. So I feel an even deeper connection to decks like this. And then, let's see, so here's the guidebook for that. And for some of the cards, it even goes to even deeper detail. So it does have a little excerpt on the bottom, and then card meaning. And then this one was crystals and herbs. Then you actually get a list here. And I think one of them even had like a recipe for like pumpkin bread. Let's see if I can find it. So this one is just stinking cute. I really grew to love this deck. Let's see if I can find it. I can't really find it. Candle color correspondences. Let's see what card that was. So Candle Magic. And then your excerpt, reverse meaning, and then you get some correspondences for candle colors. So just little extra details like that, I really appreciate. Very, very cute. Like I said, quickly becoming one of my favorites. So that is the Seasons of the Witch. All right, next one. This is Rockpool Publishing. This is mini deck. This is the Divine Doors deck. I don't really get a lot of small decks, mini decks, but I love working with this one. This one's one of my favorites to work with. Okay, sorry guys, get comfortable here. How I work with this one. So as you can see, you get different doors from around the world. Beautiful photography, great artwork. So they're kind of like, you know, pathways to a message, whatever you need to deal with, whatever you're feeling called to. So what I normally do is I pick 3 cards. I shuffle, I pick 3 cards. Let's just say pick the 3 on the top. I look at the doorways, and then I pick the card of the doorway that I would least likely go through, because more than likely that's probably the message that I need to hear the most. So I just, you know, lay that out, and looking at them, probably this one, and then just flip it over and then sit with the message. You discover your path and sacred walkabout. The trees are your people. The earth is your tribe. In indigenous lessons, you find the will to survive, which is relatable because, you know, I do kind of feel myself in survival mode right now. So that was very relatable. So I've found out that that method with this deck works for me. I really like that. So just thought I'd share with you, you know, a different way to work with mini decks. All right, so that was the Divine Doors. Okay, the next one. This is the Faeries Oracle. This is by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. I felt, you know, called to work with fairy energy a bit last year, so I spent a couple of weeks looking for a good fairy deck. And as far as artwork on site, this would not have been my cup of tea, but I have to say I'm glad that it is the one that I decided on. Let's just say, first of all, the guidebook. Great guidebook. I mean, this looks like a separate purchase of itself. This came with the deck. Nice hardcover guidebook. A whole slew of information. Like, I literally pulled it out and I like strictly started reading the guidebook right away. Like, read the whole thing before I even looked at the cards. I went to the guidebook. A lot of good information. So the way this one works, there's 66 cards. It's broken up into 5 groups of 13 cards, and each one's a group. So the first one is blank. This one is, you know, if you want to draw a picture here, this is really about becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. So whatever you feel like your fairy guide would be or would look like, this is kind of what that card is for. If you want to draw something, I haven't drawn anything yet. But the first group, they call the singers. So these are like your angels. So you see, for like the first couple of cards, the images are kind of the same or kind of similar. So this is like the angel energy that you're working with. And then the next category, we kind of, you know, get our humans in here. So this is the she energy. So these are like people guardians. And I like how, you know, it's split up like that, because it's a lot, 66 cards to, you know, just shuffle through and this is your message. I like kind of like when it's broken down into like a system. And that's what this deck does really well. And then after the human guardians, we go into fairy guides. So it's like the next section of cards. These are our fairy guides. Like I said, I do appreciate the earthy artwork. And it's really like that, you know, down and dirty earthy artwork. Like, it's kind of not pretty, but resonates really well. I mean, the artwork is stunning. I don't mean, you know, not pretty, like not nice artwork. And then the next group would be the help. They call it the helpline troop. These are like your pixie, small creatures, pixie type energy. Next couple of cards. So like I said, the artwork, it, you know, it may not be for everybody, but I have really grown to love it and appreciate it. And then the last section of the cards, which begins here with the death card, these are the fairy challenges. So these are all the cards you would look to about facing major obstacles, facing your fears. So once again, if you want to look at it this way, this could kind of be like your major arcana of the deck. These are like the major issues. But yeah, the energy that it lets out, it's really about becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable, being silly, you know, not being afraid of putting yourself out there, taking chances, taking risks. So I have loved and appreciated this deck for that. So that is the Faeries Oracle. And we're getting to the end here, guys. Only 4 left. I think we're good on time. All right, the next one is The Secret Language of Color Cards by Ina Segal. And I actually, believe it or not, I actually swapped out an indie deck for this deck. The other one I had, it was good. It was a color deck, but I just really was not, you know, vibing with it. I don't ever think I actually did a spread or a pull with it. It was cute, but I never really worked with it. So I decided to get this one instead. And I'm glad I did. I've done several reads with this one so far, and all have hit the mark. And I love the photos. So the guidebook is great as well. It gives you a meaning for the color, and then how to work with that color. So let's see. So it tells you about the intuition aspect of the color, and then something you could do, or an exercise you could do to connect with it. So it tells you about the color peach, and then Breath of Life, something you could do to connect better with that color. So like I said, I really enjoy the guidebook too. So yeah, I'm glad I picked this one up. I'm connecting with this one so much more. It's a wider variety of colors too. I appreciate that as well. And this one is 45 cards. That's it. Very, very nice. I love this one. All right, so that is The Secret Language of Color. All right, last three. The next one, I was trying to decide between this one and the Angelarium, because I really wanted like a dark fantasy type deck to work with. So I settled on this one. I found this one. This is the Mausolea Oracle, Oracle of the Souls. And I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I just really, really connected with this one. So this is another one where I don't do pulls. I've separated them by, this is kind of like dealing with the underworld aspect. Like an afterlife realm, things like that. So I have separated them. If you can see the symbols down at the bottom. So then it's different here. Actually, let me pull out the guidebook for this one. Okay. So you of course get sample spreads here. All right, so it goes into, I think they're like about 7 cards for each one. So the first section would be the Republic of Pandemonium. And these icons bound themselves in life not to gods or faiths, but to human ideals, becoming idols and objects of veneration in their own way. So you're still bound by temporal goals and abilities of human life, whether the glory of success or the haunting specter of failure. So that would be the first section here of cards. And then the next one would be the Kingdom of Hades. So Hades, when Hades is, you know, caring for the dead. So that's the next section of cards here. And then it goes into different deities of that underworld realm. Okay, and then we get into the Celtic realm here. So it's really, you know, just whatever you're in tune with. So we have Lilith, Lady of Mass, the Prince, Golden Empress, and then we go into our Egyptian underworld theme. I just really like, I really like the darkness of it. So like I said, I still might pick up the Angelarium as well. I'm not sure, but I, you know, hope to work with this one also a little bit more this year. All right, so that is the Mausolea Oracle of Souls. All right, and the last one, it's actually 2 decks, but it's the last one. These I have to say are my favorite. These are like, you know, if I have to get out of the house, as far as oracle cards, these are the ones I'm grabbing. And that is the soul cards. This is 1, this is 2. There's 60 cards each. And mainly, what I love about the soul cards is that it's really what Oracle was meant for in the first place, which is for you to be your own message, your voice to be your own message. There's like a small little, you know, I don't want to say guidebook, but there's like a small pamphlet in there that gives you ideas on how to work with it. But really, I just do my own thing with this one. So these are really, you know, pick a card and, you know, you're doing your own thing here, which is what, you know, it should be. Your voice should always be the most important in your journey. It's great, absolutely great to get guidance from other people, learn from other people's experiences, their knowledge. Fantastic. And, you know, that's what we're here for, to learn from each other. But to really sit with yourself and then just, you know, really get that message from your own knowing, your inner being, there's nothing like it. And that's what this deck allows me to do. So yeah, I saved the best for last for this one. They're all loved, they're all cherished. But this soul cards are my heart. I love this one. Just the artwork is, you know, amazing. And my mom has actually started to use these. She's not really even into Oracle or anything like that, but I gave her the cards one day. She said, oh, I kind of like these. And so she's been picking a couple of cards to sit with, meditate, get her message for the day. So really, really great. Beautiful. All right, so that is my mass market Oracle collection. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. I hope this wasn't too ridiculously long. I hope you all enjoyed it. So like I said, these are the decks that I do work with the most. So my next collection video, I will finally be going into tarot. I'm probably going to do mass market first and then do indie oracle. So stay on the lookout for that. All right. So as usual, guys, love you all. Thank you all for watching. I'm so glad you're here with me. Stay well, stay blessed, and I will see you all next time.